Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnur Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vande Vrindavananandam Radhikam Parameshwarim Gopikam Paramam Shuddham Ladinim Shaktirupinim Namah Kamalnabhaya Namah Kamaline Namah Kamalpadaya Namaste Kamale Kshana Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vaivedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tagvangha Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye. Dear devotees, we'll do a few minutes of Nam Sankirtan, and after that I'll continue with the series of lectures on Radha Tattva. Radhe 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 Shri Radhe
Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Shri Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe
राधे 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 श्री राधे
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 राधे श्री राधे
राधे श्री राधे
राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे श्री 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 राधे
राधे श्री राधे
राधे श्री राधे
राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे श्री 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 राधे
राधे श्री राधे
राधे श्री राधे
Radhe Shri Radhe,
Radhe Shri Radhe,
Radhe 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 Shri Radhe,
Radhe Shri Radhe,
Radhe Shri Radhe,
Radhe Radhe Radhe,
Radhe Radhe Radhe,
Radhe 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 Shri 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 Radhe.
अलबेली सरकार की Radhe Radhe, everyone. Happy Radhashtami to you. This is, as we've been having our entire weekend intensive, this is the third lecture I'm giving you on Radha Tattva. What is Radha? I told you that understanding who Radha is or what Radha Tattva is a long journey, because you don't reveal the most precious thing openly and to all. I gave the analogy of going into a jeweler's and asking to see the most precious jewel. The jeweler keeps that hidden in a safe in the back room, not out in the open in the public displays. So what you can see from the window outside is one thing. You can see more when you enter the shop and look closely at the displays, but if you want to see the most precious thing, you have to ask. And upon request, if the manager trusts you, they may produce that jewel, which they keep locked up in the back. And even when they take it out, it's packaged in a beautiful, ornate box, which is also locked. And then that's opened, and inside there's another box, and in that is that most precious jewel. Similarly, first I gave you general philosophy about Brahm. Then we went further ahead and understood that Brahm has three main forms, Brahm, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. And the supreme form of Brahm is Shri Krishna. Then we went further ahead and understood that Radha herself is Krishna. Mamaiva paurusham rupam gopika janamohanam. Brahma Vaivarta Puran. Radha is saying the male form who entices the hearts of the gopis is actually my male form. I have become Krishna. Thus, after learning who Shri Krishna was, you were told that Radha is Krishna, Krishna is Radha. There is no difference between them. One more Leela that can help us understand this oneness between Radha and Krishna is also a very deep, subtle revelation of their oneness and also their relationship with each other. One time, Radha and Krishna were sitting in a kunj and they were talking to each other, laughing, having some conversations. And all of a sudden, because Radha and Krishna are always in prem samadhi, they're always absorbed in various states of divine love ecstasy. So sometimes they may be conscious, sometimes they may be in a dreamlike state, sometimes they may be semi-conscious, sometimes they may be unconscious, but they're always just exhibiting different aspects of that divine love that we call Premanand. So on this day, they were sitting in the kunj and they were talking. To us, that looks like a normal thing, but they're actually in the highest states of divine love ecstasy. And in that, what happened is that Radha went into it without completely going unconscious. She lost consciousness of her body. So she's sitting there, and Krishna also lost consciousness of his body. And they stayed like that for some time. And when they emerged from that state of stillness, Radha believed herself to be Krishna, and Krishna believed himself to be Radha. So now picture the situation. Radha is sitting here and she thinks she is Krishna. So who does Krishna want to see? Radha. But when Radha, believing herself to be Krishna, looks to her side, who does she see? Krishna. But she wants to see Radha. And Krishna, now believing himself to be Radha, wants to see Krishna. But when he looks to his side, he sees Radha. Neither is recognizing the other, actually. So Krishna asks Radha, have you seen Krishna? He was just here. But he's actually experiencing viraha. He's not asking casually. He's experiencing intense longing because Radha Krishna were together in that kunj, and their experience of that divine love was unimaginable. And then now Krishna has been separated from Radha. And Radha has been separated from Krishna. Not actually, not physically, but in their divine love state, Krishna can't find himself because he sees Radha. So he's saying, where did Krishna go? He was just here. Priyatam. And Radha is saying, oh, have you seen my pyari Radhe? Where did she go? So they're asking each other like this, and now gopis who were enjoying the whole Leela from the beginning, they enter the scene and try to make them understand, oh Radhe, why are you looking for Radhe? You are Radhe. Krishna, you are Krishna. You are right here. Radha is with you. Why are you looking for Krishna? And they kept trying to logically explain, but no logic could explain it because Radha was Krishna and Krishna was Radha, and they wanted to see themselves but couldn't. So this sounds like a situation that we can't understand, actually. It's just a revelation of an amazingly astonishing, sophisticated, and unlimited divine love. So eventually, in that interaction, they came back to a different state of divine love ecstasy, and Krishna remembered himself to be Krishna, and Radha remembered herself to be Radha. So Radha saw, oh, Priyatam, you're here. And Krishna saw, oh, Pyari, you're here. And then gopis were happy that the situation had been resolved. But this Leela shows that absolute oneness between Radha and Krishna. It is also explained, as I told you in the last lecture, that Radha is Shakti and Shri Krishna is Shaktiman. Shakti और Shaktiman में भेद भी है और अभेद भी है. Shakti means the power, Shaktiman means the base in which the power resides. In the divine realm, both are personified. The power is personified and the base in which the power resides is personified. So Radha is Shakti and Shri Krishna is Shaktiman. Between Shakti and Shaktiman, there is both difference and non-difference. Non-difference because the Shakti can't exist outside of its Shaktiman. So both are one and together. And the Shaktiman is nothing without its Shakti. So both are one. But there is also difference because the Shakti gives its power to the Shaktiman and the Shakti resides in the Shaktiman. So I explained to you that Radha is Shri Krishna's Parashakti or Swarup Shakti or Yogamaya Shakti. And this power, because Shri Krishna is Satchit Anand, manifests itself in three internal powers. The Sat Bhav manifests itself as Sandhini Anubhav, Sandhini Shakti. The Chit Bhav manifests itself as Samvit Anubhav or Samvit Shakti. And the Anand Bhav manifests itself as Hladini Anubhav or Hladini Shakti. This was explained to you previously. In gist, what it means is Radha is Shri Krishna's supreme power, Parashakti, his internal power. What does that power do for Krishna? Through the Sandhini Anubhav, Shri Krishna receives his name, names, forms, leelas, qualities, abodes. All these are manifested in Krishna through Radha in the form of Sandhini Shakti. So it is because of Radha that Krishna is not just formless Brahm. Without Radha, Krishna is Nirakar, Nirvishesh Brahm. This is one of the reasons we say that Radharani is the soul of Shri Krishna. Through the Samvit Shakti, Shri Krishna's unlimited, ever-increasing beauty, sweetness, charm, playfulness, lovingness is manifested through Radha's grace in the form of this Samvit Shakti, and through the Ahladini Shakti, Premanand is revealed, because that is the essence of Ahladini Shakti. So this is the Premanand that makes Shri Krishna forget he is God. It makes God forget his kingliness, his majesty, or his divine godly dignity, and just behave in a sweet, loving way like we all love to hear about Krishna's Leelas. This happens because of this Premanand, which is also none other than Radha. So Radha is Shakti, Shri Krishna is Shaktiman. It is only with this power from Radha that Shri Krishna manifests all of these aspects of his personality. Without Radha, Krishna is formless Brahm. We also say without Radha, Krishna is Nyayi. Nyayi means he dispenses justice. What karma you did, he notes it and he gives the results. Nothing more, nothing less. So this is Krishna as Paramatma, Almighty God. He keeps track of our actions and gives us the results. But then how would we ever become God realized? If God only dispensed justice, then how could we ever be forgiven for all of our past sins? How could we be free from all the pending karma that we are supposed to undergo in the form of prarabdha? How could an insignificant, infinitesimal, powerless soul ever reach God? Only through God's grace, and that grace is awakened through Radha's power. So without Radha, Krishna is Nyayi. With Radha's grace, Shri Krishna becomes gracious. Radha is Shakti, Shri Krishna is Shaktiman. There is both Bhed and Abhed. Radha is the source of Premanand, as I told you, the source of divine love. So Krishna's personal power is that Swarup Shakti. The essence of Swarup Shakti is Ahladini Shakti, the power of bliss. The essence of Ahladini Shakti is Prema Shakti. And the highest form of that Prema Shakti, or the essence of Prema Shakti, is called Mahabhav. This was also previously explained to you, that in the 8 levels of Prem, the highest is Mahabhav, and even within Mahabhav, there are different levels, but the highest level within Mahabhav is called Madanakya Mahabhav, and that is Radha's divine state of Prem. No one else reaches that state. And it is because Radharani is this personified essence of the divine love power that Shri Krishna forgets who he is when he's with Radha. He drowns in Radha's love. Yasya renum padayor vishwabharta. Radhika Upanishad says, Shri Krishna desires to take Radha's foot dust and put it on his head. Yasya anke vilunthan Krishna devo golokakyam naiva sasmaradham padam. Krishna forgets he's God. He forgets about the bliss of his divine abode when he lays his head in Radha's lap. Brahm, Supreme God, forgets his godliness in front of Radharani. During Vasantotsav, one time Radha Krishna were doing ras with the gopis, and Shri Krishna had disappeared. When he reappeared as Mahavishnu with 4 arms in his almighty form. And all the gopis just pulled their ghungat out of modesty that a man has come in our midst, so we should behave modestly. Who is this? So Krishna said, what do you mean, who is this? You are all calling for me because I disappeared from Ras. Just now you were all crying for me to come back. So here I am. And gopis said, what do you mean, here I am? My beloved only has 2 arms. And he wears a peacock feather. What is this Sudarshan Chakra and Gada and all of this you're holding? My beloved doesn't hold these things. In other words, Krishna is manifesting himself in his almighty form, and gopis are saying, I have no relation with Bhagavan, Almighty God. I want my beloved Nandanandan, the son of Nanda Baba and Yashoda. Where is he? And Krishna in the form of Vishnu is saying, he is me. What are you talking about? So just then Radha comes. Radha comes and just looks at Krishna like this. Like, kya kar raha hai? She looks at him like that, gives him a sidelong glance, and just with that much, Krishna's 2 arms disappeared. In other words, that naughtiness he was pulling on the gopis was just gone. And he resumed his divine love form. So with Radha's presence, Krishna cannot do any almighty thing. Krishna cannot be in his almighty form in front of Radharani. He forgets he's God altogether. I also explained to you that Radha and Krishna, being Supreme God, give form to all the other forms. All the female forms emerge from Radha's body, and all the male forms emerge from Shri Krishna's body. All the female forms are Radha's ansh. Sansha Kamala Shailaputri Tam Radhikam Shaktidhatrim Namamaha. Radhika Upanishad says, all the female forms like Kamala, Lakshmi, Parvati, Durga, these are all forms of Radha. Sa ek eveshwarah narayano khila brahmandadhipati rekonshaha. The almighty male forms are all a part of Shri Krishna's personality. So says Radhika Upanishad. So Radha, Krishna are supreme God, but because Radha is Krishna's Shakti and she is the Para Shakti and she is the Prema Shakti, Shri Krishna worships her as his own soul, because without Radha, he would not even have a form. In fact, that is what Radha's name means. It is one of the meanings. It comes from the Sanskrit root Radh. Radh, Sadh, Sansiddhau. So when you form Radha, according to how you're going to use that noun, in one case, Aradhyate Krishno Yaya iti Radha. The one who is worshipped by Shri Krishna is called Radha. So that is how the Radha word is formed. Just like Tasya Shaktayastvanekadha Hladini Sandhini Jnanicha Kriyadya Bahuvidha Shaktaya Tasva Hladini Variyasi Paramantarang Bhuta Radha Krishnena Aradhyate iti Radha. Radhika Upanishad. The absolute essence of the Ahladini Shakti is Shri Radha, and she is the one who is worshipped by Shri Krishna. This is what her name means. Radhaiva Radhyate Maya. Shri Krishna says, Radha is the one that I worship. Whereas the whole world worships Shri Krishna worships Radha. But Radha also means Radhyate Yaya Sa Radha. The one who worships Krishna is Radha. So Radha means both. The one who is worshipped by Krishna and the one who worships Krishna. Both are true and both are correct. But Radha is Shakti and Krishna is Shaktiman, and it is with Radha's Shakti that the entire divine phenomenon is brought to life, given a form, is made to manifest all of its potential and qualities. And it is because of Premanand that all the Leelas, all the loving Leelas are manifested. Radha's name is also defined by Naradji. Utsarjane cha ra shabdo dharane poshane cha dha. Radha. Radha, according to Naradji and Narad Pancharatra, means Ra means the one from whom the whole universe emerged. And Dha means the one who is maintaining, fostering, protecting the existence of the universe. So Radha, supreme goddess who produced the universe and who is maintaining and fostering the existence of the universe, that is Radha. So Radha, the very name Radha means supreme God, the absolute supreme goddess, who is worshipped by Shri Krishna and who worships Shri Krishna. And that Shri Radha appeared on this very day. So this is Radha Ashtami, the 8th night after the new moon. So it's a waxing moon. It's building, becoming brighter and brighter towards the full moon. It's the 8th night, so it's called Ashtami. And Radha Ashtami. Early in the morning, Radharani appeared. That's why we celebrated her birthday early this morning. Although we'll be having Abhishek of Radharani in a little bit after my lecture. But this morning we celebrated her appearance on the same day, Ashtami day, early in the morning, as it happened in the palace of King Vrishabhanu and Kirti, more than 5,000 years ago. Vrishabhanu and Kirti had a palace called Rangili Mahal up on the hill on top of Barsana hill in the village of Barsana, or surrounded by the village of Barsana. Vrishabhanu and Kirti were divine personalities in their previous life, and they were given a boon by Brahma that they would have Radha as their daughter. So they were Vatsalya Bhav devotees of Radharani. And they were graced by Radha to have her as their daughter. Radha, being divine Brahm, is already omnipresent. So Vedavyasji tells us, Ayoni Sambhava. Radha's body was not formed as an embryo growing in the womb of Mother Kirti, but merely a material pregnancy was simulated. Radha herself is Yogamaya Shakti, so using her power, she gave her mother the experience of being pregnant. Although Radha was there in her heart, but not in her womb. Other than the fact that she's omnipresent, so you can say she's in your belly, she's in my belly, she's in everybody's belly. But specifically, she was sitting in the heart of Mother Kirti, giving her the blissful experience that I'm here with you. And then using her power, she gradually gave the experience of pregnancy, that there's a baby growing and her belly got larger and larger over a 9-month period. And she could even feel that the baby is moving within her belly. She could feel the hands and feet moving and kicking. So she had the whole experience, just like every mother has, of being pregnant, minus the discomfort. Just a purely blissful experience of feeling that she was impregnated with Radha's ras. So after 9 months of this simulated pregnancy, which was real for Mother Kirti, she believed it to be real. Radha just had Mother Kirti be in a state of total absorption, in prem samadhi. She was semi-unconscious, thinking of Radha in her mind. And all of a sudden, Radha, she could just feel her beside her. So Kirti mother was just reclining, and all of a sudden she could feel, oh, there's a baby next to me. So she assumed she had given birth. Actually, of course, Radha, who was just omnipresent, just appeared and made that Yogamaya situation in her mother's belly come to an end. So the belly deflated and the baby appeared next to Mother Kirti. So Kirti Maya just assumed, oh, I gave birth to this baby girl that I see beside me. Of course, though, Radha had just appeared, but Mother Kirti didn't know that. In Shri Krishna's case, he appeared in his full-grown form, in his almighty form before Devaki and Vasudeva, because they had worshipped him in his almighty form. So if he first appeared in that form, they were devotees of his mixed opulence form, loving but also almighty. Whereas Yashoda Maya was a devotee of his pure loving form. So Yashoda Maya also just had the experience of having the baby appear next to her. And she believed that Krishna had actually been given birth by her. So in this way, Radha's mother, Kirti, believed fully that I am this baby's mother. And Radha grew up, she began her childhood leelas. After all, her whole reason for appearing or taking avatar was to reveal these loving leelas on the earth so that the souls could know about her, and also to give that blissful experience to Mother Kirti and her father Vrishabhanu. Imagine having Radha, the personified quintessence of divine love, who makes even Krishna forget his almightiness. Having Radha appear in your home as your baby girl, and she's yours. She's your daughter. Now you have to take care of her, you feed her, you bathe her, you dress her, you teach her to talk, teach her to walk. Now imagine she starts calling you mother, Maiya, or Baba. This is the experience Kirti and Vrishabhanu got, having Supreme Brahm as their divine daughter growing up in their home. And Radha revealed all of these leelas, learning to walk, learning to talk, going out and playing with her friends, quarreling with her big brother Shri Dama, who was Krishna's Sakha, so of course he would be a little naughty. Getting Maiya to give her older brother some punishment, telling on her older brother, getting him in trouble. She did all these leelas just like a little girl growing up, just like you would have done, just like your kids would have done. Growing older, being able to roam out in Gavarban forest with the gopis, and then having Krishna come and do naughtiness, break their pots, or come and meet them and do a swinging leela, or come in disguise to meet Radha and the gopis. So for 126 years, Radha stayed in Barsana only, because Krishna had to reveal his other forms like Mathuradhish Shri Krishna, Dwarikadhish Shri Krishna, fight Mahabharat war, reveal the Gita, grace other devotees of his more almighty side, like grace the queen, the souls who became the queens of Dwarika, grace his other friends who loved him in his slightly more almighty form. That was all part of Krishna's plan for his avatar. But Radha only stayed in Barsana for 126 years and just revealed every single day these leelas with the gopis, with her mother, with her father. Of course, in this particular dissension with Shri Krishna, they also revealed Maharas Leela, which is the highest bliss to which a soul can attain. So this was a very special avatar of Radha and Krishna, the one that just happened. That revelation of Maharas only happens once in a whole day of Brahma, once in a kalp, or 4.32 billion years. We have established many of these Leela places. We've represented them here at Radha Madhav Dham, just like we have Barsana Hill. And you can imagine Rangili Mahal, Radha's palace on top of Barsana Hill. We have Radha Kund, which was a pond, a holy pond up on Barsana Hill near Radha's palace, where she used to go and play and bathe with the gopis. We have established Prem Sarovar, which was a place between Barsana and Nandagaon where Radha and Krishna used to meet. We have Kalindi River or Yamuna River, which is a place where many, many leelas happened with Radha, gopis, and Krishna. We have Morkuti, we have Managar, we have Seva Kunj, which is where the Maharas Leela happened. We have Maharas Mandal. We have all these holy Leela places established here at Radha Madhav Dham so that we can actually take more advantage of Radha's whole reason for taking avatar. One of the main reasons, or as far as we're concerned, the main way that we benefit is that Radha revealed her Leelas and revealed all these Leelas Thalis. And through that, she revealed her loving personality. So when we go around Barsana in India, or we go around our representation of Barsana Dham here at Radha Madhav Dham, we can remember those Leelas and dwell upon Radha's innocent, gracious personality. We should also think on Radha-Ashtami while we remember the excitement of such a thing. Imagine, Radha has come on earth, so not only, although at that time ordinary souls like us wouldn't have known what was happening, we get the benefit after the fact. But while it was happening, all of Barsana was populated by divine personalities. Radharani's descended divine associates, the gopis from the divine world. and her mother and father. But then plenty of other divine personalities came out of excitement when they heard that Supreme Goddess Radharani has taken avatar in our Brahmand. Brahma came, Vishnu came, Shankar came, Lakshmi, Parvati, Saraswati. I mean, there is one Vishnu, one Brahma, and one Shankar in each Brahmand, and there's one Parvati, one Lakshmi, one Saraswati in each Brahmand. So there's infinite such divine personalities, and they're all Ansh of Radha. So they all desire to serve Radharani. So when Radha is descended in this Brahmand, then the Saraswati and Lakshmi and Durga of this Brahman get excited. Oh, our Swamini has come. Let us go do her arti. Let us go welcome her. So in this way, it was a big excitement on many levels in Barsana on the day of Radha's appearance. For her mother and father, it was such a loving, exciting experience. For all the Brajwasis, they had been waiting for Radharani to appear since they had descended from the divine world here on earth. So they came out of great excitement, and then for all the big administrative personalities in our Brahman, Vishnu, Shankar, Brahma, and Lakshmi, etc., for them it was a big excitement that the supreme power, the one who gives us our power, our Swamini has come, let us go and celebrate. So it was a huge celebration that day in Barsana. People were so absorbed in the bliss of little one-day-old Lali that although Kirti Maya was just tossing jewels, she had containers of jewels and precious stones she was just throwing. Imagine the value of those things. She was throwing them into the crowd of people, and nobody even cared to bend down and pick one up because they were so absorbed in the bliss of Radha's darshan. And just seeing her in that form as a little baby, nobody even cared to pick up a single jewel off the ground. This is a special indicator of the level of bliss that everybody was enjoying that day of Radharani's appearance. Now, although we were not qualified at that time to join in those celebrations because we wouldn't even have recognized who Radha was had we seen her, we can become qualified, but first we have to think about who is Radha to us. We know that Krishna is the soul of our soul, right? He is Paramatma. Our soul is the most important part of our individual personality. The soul is our true self, our Atma, gives life to our mind and body and senses. Krishna lives inside our Atma, giving life to our Atma. So he is the Atma of our Atma, or he is Paramatma. Then our connection to him is even deeper. But Radha, Atma tu Radhika tasya, Veda Vyasji says she is Krishna's Atma. So she is the Atma of our Atma. That is our relationship to Radharani, technically speaking. So now imagine the depth of our relationship to Radha and the depth of the natural longing our soul feels to be with Radha. Our Atma is the most important thing to us, and yet the Atma of our Atma, Shri Krishna, is even more loving to us than our own soul. Then the Atma of our Atma, Radharani, is even more loving to our soul than Krishna. More practically speaking, how could we relate to Radha? We could think of her as our mother, our divine mother. We can visualize that, and when we're doing Rup Dhyan of Radharani, we can actually think of her as our mother. Or we could think of her as our Sakhi. We are a Gopi, and she is our beloved. She is our divine beloved Radha, and we are one of her friends. She's our best friend, our beloved best friend, Radharani. Or we could be like Mother Kirti or King Vrishabhanu. She is our divine daughter. So in your Roop Dhyan, the only thing you have to do to connect to Radha is just do that visualization. Oh, today Radha is my daughter. I'll hold her in my arms. I'll hold her hand while she's learning to walk. I'll cook for her and feed her. She'll do machalna. She'll be squirming and crying to get into my lap, and I'll pick her up and bring her in my lap. When she learns to talk a little bit, she'll be speaking in a very childlike way, mispronouncing certain words, and coming in great excitement to tell me something and wanting to get my attention. You can just imagine all of these leelas, or think of her older and we're her best friend, or think of her in her full-grown form and she is our divine mother. We just have to imagine these situations, and since Radha is omnipresent, she is here with us. We just have to make the connection through our own heart and mind. It's so easy, so simple, and she's revealed these leelas to make it even more simple so that we're attracted to her divine personality. Since those leelas and her form are omnipresent and divine, when we make that connection to them, our heart purifies and we gradually become more and more surrendered to Radha. Once we become 100% surrendered, then our mind would have been fully permeated with her Swarup Shakti, and then our senses and mind would become divine, and we would actually get to have the divine vision of Radha. We would see her for real. And then that would be forever. Then we would enter into the divine abode after leaving our body, and for as long as we are in our body on this earth, we would always see her divine leelas 24 hours a day. Once we enter her divine abode, we would get to serve her selflessly in the divine leelas and be with our beloved Radha forever. This is the meaning in brief of Radha Ashtami, and a very short explanation of Radha Tattva. Who is Radha? Whose birthday we are celebrating today on the occasion of Radha Ashtami. So let us finish now by doing a few minutes of Nam Sankirtan. Let us chant the name of Radha, which is also one with Radha. There is no difference between Radha and her name. We'll just be chanting Radha, Radha, Radha. While we're doing this kirtan, practice that visualization that I was describing for you just a moment ago, what we call Roop Dhyan. And in this way, we can celebrate Radha Ashtami the way it was meant to be celebrated, by internally remembering Radha and chanting her name with love. Radha, 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 Radha.
Radha, 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 Radha,
Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha, Radha, Radha.
Radha, Radha, Radha. Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha Radha
अलबेली सरकार की बरसाने वारी की The kirtan will be continuing for another hour, and now we're set up to do Radharani's Abhishek on this auspicious occasion of her appearance day. So you can take turns lining up. We don't have to all get up at the same time, but when you see there's an opening in the line, come and line up and do Abhishek of Radharani. And of course, baby Radha is also in the cradle, in the swing, so you're welcome to come up and rock Radharani in the cradle as well.